This man wasn't just a mere resemblance. He was a mirror image. Samuel's voice carried across the room as he began his presentation, unaware of the chaos he had just unleashed in Daniel's mind. The audience clapped politely as Samuel introduced his firm and laid out the company's vision. But Daniel wasn't paying attention. His heart pounded, and an uneasiness crept up his spine. Against all logic, he knew this was something more than coincidence. Unable to contain himself, Daniel stood abruptly, his chair scraping loudly against the polished floor. Heads turned, including Samuel's. And then their eyes met. For what felt like an eternity, the room vanished for the two of them. Samuel faltered mid-sentence, the words dying on his lips. It was as though he were staring into a mirror, seeing a spitting image of himself. Gasps echoed from the audience as murmurs swept through the crowd. "Is this some kind of prank?" someone whispered. "They look exactly alike." Samuel tried to recover, clearing his throat awkwardly. Excuse me. Daniel, unable to stop himself, began walking toward the stage, his movements slow and deliberate. His presence commanded the attention of everyone in the room. "Who are you?" Daniel asked, his voice loud, steady, yet filled with confusion. Samuel stared at him, his grip tightening on the edges of the podium. I'm Samuel. And who are you?" "Daniel Peterson," came the firm response. "But that's not what I'm asking. Who are you?" The tension in the room was palpable. Whispers turned into murmurs, then into audible speculations. When the event ended, Daniel approached Samuel backstage. The resemblance was uncanny, too much for comfort. They exchanged polite pleasantries, but it wasn't long before Daniel asked the question burning in his mind. "Do you have a brother?" Daniel asked. Samuel hesitated, looking slightly puzzled. "I don't, but my mother always said I had a twin. She's insisted on it for as long as I can remember, though we never found him. She believes he was stolen at birth." Those words hit Daniel like a thunderclap. He staggered slightly, his face going pale. "Are you saying I might be your twin?" he whispered. "I don't know," Samuel admitted. "But it would explain a lot." Unable to shake the possibility, the two men decided to take a DNA test to confirm their suspicions. While waiting for the results, Samuel shared his upbringing in Sonoga, the humble life he'd lived, and his mother's unwavering belief that she'd given birth to twins. Daniel, on the other hand, spoke of the privileged life he'd led, but also of the unanswered questions about his origins. A week later, the results came in. They were identical twins. Samuel wasn't surprised. Tola had always known. But for Daniel, it was as though his entire world had been turned upside down. He decided to confront his adoptive parents. When Daniel brought Samuel to his parents' mansion, Mrs. Peterson's face crumpled the moment she saw him. Tears spilled down her cheeks as she realized what was happening. "Where did you find him?" she whispered, her voice trembling. "So it's true," Daniel said coldly. "You took me from my real mother." Mrs. Peterson broke down, falling to her knees. "We were desperate," she cried. "We wanted a child so badly, and that hospital promised us you. They said your mother didn't want you. I swear, we didn't know the truth." Daniel stepped back, disgusted. "You bought a child illegally?" he said. "That's the truth, whether you knew it or not." Mr. Peterson, however, wasn't so remorseful. "We gave you a better life," he snapped. "Look at you. Do you think you'd be where you are now if we hadn't taken you in?" Samuel stepped forward, his calm demeanor masking his anger. Your better life cost my family almost 30 years of pain. My mother cried every day for the son she lost. No wealth can justify that. Daniel turned to Samuel, his voice tight with emotion. I need to meet her. When Daniel arrived in Sonoga, Tola stood frozen at the sight of him. Tears welled up in her eyes as she dropped the basket of cassava she'd been holding. Benji rushed out of the house, equally stunned. Daniel hesitated, suddenly overcome with emotion. Mama, he whispered. Tola ran to him, wrapping her arms around him tightly as though afraid he might vanish again. My son! My boy! They said I was crazy, but I knew I gave birth to two of you. Benji joined them, tears streaming down his face. For the first time in decades, their family felt whole. Daniel decided to split his time between his adoptive parents and his biological family. He held no hatred for the Petersons but made it clear that he needed to rebuild his connection with Tola and Benji. Samuel and Daniel, though raised worlds apart, became inseparable. Together, they worked to expose the corrupt practices of Sonoga's medical center, ensuring that no family would suffer the way theirs had. In time, the twins became a powerful duo, blending Samuel's humility and hard work with Daniel's sharp business acumen. They built a legacy that honored both the family they came from and the family they had become. Tola, sitting on the porch one evening, watched her sons laughing together in the yard. For the first time in 20 years, her heart was at peace. The eventual reunion of the twins, alongside the healing of Tola and Benji's broken hearts, is a powerful message about the importance of truth, resilience, and the strength of family bonds. This narrative also serves as a poignant reminder of the vulnerability of rural communities to exploitation, especially when it comes to expectant mothers, and stresses the significance of safeguarding newborns in hospitals. The story offers a message of hope, showing that even in the face of deep injustice, there can be redemption, and families can be reunited. Hope you enjoyed this story. Like, share, and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.